Hey, I'm Olivia Somerlyn, and you're watching Shine On Media. Well, that was so exciting because actually they waited a week and then announced the top 5 after voting ended after the first round. So when we ended, we were in first place. So I figured we'd be in the top 5, but like you never know. Like in the last few hours, you know, people could start voting a ton. So it was just really, really exciting, and I was really happy to be able to, you know, share it with all my fans and summer lovers because I know they've been voting so much. So, oh my gosh. Well, that would be so huge. Even actually on my drive back from the airport into the city last night, it was like this whole ad on Z100 about the iHeartRadio Music Festival, and it really is the biggest music festival in the world. So it's the biggest opportunity ever to be able to perform at that festival. So I just really hope that I'm able to win. But if not, it's been a lot of great experience just to be in the top 5 or even to be in the 25 artists at all. It's great press and just a great thing to kind of bring me and my fans together, you know, all working towards winning. I guess my main message throughout this whole competition has been that, you know, we're really in it together. If I win, I feel like it's us winning because I'll be able to go see more summer lovers with Macy's and iHeartRadio and be able to hopefully tour more. It will just really be a huge milestone and a big step in my career, and that means that I'm able to just do a lot more with them. So it's us winning, and I know that they can do it. We won. We came in first place in the first round. Right now we're kind of going back and forth between 1 and 2, so I know we can do this. It was so cool. It was such a dream come true because I've been a huge Jonas Brothers fan right? I mean, who was not a big Jonas Brothers fan? Who still isn't, you know? So that was one of the things I always wanted to do is work with them, especially write with Nick because he kind of spearheaded a lot of their songs and a lot of my favorites of theirs. He's so talented in so many ways. So it was so cool to actually be able to finally work with him. We stayed in the studio for like 10 hours straight, like writing and the recording all in one day. And then we were trying to get it out before this iHeartRadio contest. So we like mixed it and mastered it really quick, did a photo shoot. It was crazy. It all happened so fast. But I loved it so much. And I love the song. I guess maybe the funniest one is like he tends to be kind of reserved, I guess, like in interviews and in public, as you know, I'm sure. But when he gets in the studio and like as we started to get going, like I mentioned my idea of Parachute while he was kind of humming this melody that really seemed to fit, and he got really excited about that, and then like it was all like so exciting, and he was like so excited, and we were like jumping around like this is such a hit, oh my gosh, it's so great. And then we were like, let's go to Starbucks. So we were walking to Starbucks, and all of a sudden it was like back to like Nick, you know, and then like back in the studio, it was like, yeah, this is a hit. It was just it's so cool because he's so talented, and like the studio totally is his place and like his zone, and like that's where he totally just lets loose and gets excited. Definitely, I've been working towards it for a while, but I keep touring. Like I've been touring pretty much all year, and you know, then there's this iHeartRadio competition, and I released a new single, so that kind of delays it a little bit. But when I'm in LA and any free time that I have, I'm in the studio, I'm writing, I'm recording, even just by myself. I'm trying to arrange co-writes whenever I can, and now I have like a lot of songs kind of partially finished that I'm going to probably when this competition is over, like next week, get to sit down and like go through them and think like, will this be an EP, will this be an album, and when's the right time to release it? But right now it's about promoting Parachute. I guess I would say it's pop music for sure, but I write it. I'm either write or co-write all my songs, so it has like a bit of a uniqueness to it that's hard to describe. I think when you write your own music, like it's almost hard to describe it since it's individual for each person. But pop with influence of like piano ballads because I love to start writing on the piano, but I'd like to keep lyrics positive, even like in Only in the Movies, for example, which is one of my favorite songs of mine. It kind of starts out sounding like it's going to be negative or melancholy and kind of like more of a depressing type song, but if you listen closely to the lyrics, like in the bridge, it totally switches, and I like to have things have a happy ending. Even Parachute, which is kind of a little bit more negative, it's still like an empowering emotion. Like it's not an upset song. I tend to start, especially when I'm starting songs by myself and not in the room with different writers or producers, I tend to start with like a piano, some sort of piano part, or just a concept, and then I go to the piano, sometimes guitar. But then with different producers, sometimes it's like they start working on a beat, and then I'll just start kind of humming something, and I always keep a list of concepts, like a super long list of concepts in my phone. So like if I'm working with a different producer, like they'll be starting like a beat or a track, and I'll just kind of keep scrolling through and think like, what does this feel like? And just go from there. Mainly just whenever I would go to other people's concerts, I would just kind of, I remember being pretty young and I think maybe Hillary Duff was my first concert ever. Yeah, in the Bay Area, the Oakland Oracle Arena. Yeah, I remember it clearly, and just being like, wait, this is actually something that people can do. Like this can be your job. I want to do that. My mom says that, I forget which concert it was, but I was watching somebody perform and I just turned to her and I go, yeah, I'm going to do this. Like I have to do this. And from that moment, she's like, I knew that she just had to do it. So that's hard because with Big Time Rush, we did all over the US and then later South America. So how do you even pick? And then of course the UK. I mean, maybe some highlights. I didn't really have a lot of days off on the South America tour. We usually were like flying in the day of shows, but we had a really cool day off in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, which I loved. It was so cool. London I loved too. All over England was so cool to see. We had a little bit more free time there. But of course the US, that was my first tour. So I think maybe the US has to be my favorite tour because it was like my first tour was summer, just about a year ago. It was just, whenever I think of it, it's just like the happiest time. So nostalgic. We just had so much fun. It was like a big road trip. Okay, probably somebody just asked me this the other day, like just a friend, like who would you want to tour with? And I said, well, it's kind of random, but I think like Coldplay and Katy Perry, like those are my two favorite people. I love them. So, I don't know if that would ever happen, but I love them.